Welcome to the show. I'm having trouble right now with my screen. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to keep trying to get this thing to roll. I'm not sure why, but welcome to the show. It's September 5th, 2025, and I'm doing my best to see why I can't share my screen right now. This is kind of stupid, but never had this problem before. We have a guest coming on in a few minutes, so I want to make sure that I got on here, and then I will make the adjustments. If you can hear me, we'll have to check and see if you can hear me and stuff like that real quick, and then we'll proceed. You know, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but let me see if I can get some sound going real quick and then make sure we're good with the sound, and then we'll move on here. Can you hear me? And then can you get in the chat? Let me know if you can hear me, because I don't think you can. That is kind of a malfunction we have right now. I don't think anybody can grab me right now, and that sucks. Oh, yeah, we're live. Let's see if we got. Yeah, I'm live, so we're in here. So I'm not sure what's going on with my screen share, and I have another system, but it would be too difficult for me to swap right now. So we're just gonna wait for our guest to come on, and then I tried to call my IT guy, but he didn't answer. So we're gonna just have to roll with this the way we got it here. Can everybody hear me okay? Hit me up in the chat if you don't mind. It looks like we have a guest coming on in about 4 minutes or so, or yeah, 4 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait for her to come on. New California, and there. What I'll let you know a little bit about that. I hate it when I start the stream and it doesn't work. I don't know what the hell the problem is with it, but what I will do after the stream is after I get done with the interview, I will swap over to the other system and come back in and do the rest of the show on my other system, because I do have another system, but I didn't want to jump in right then because I thought that it would be, you know, too close of a call for the other system at the last minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to just roll with it. So New California, for those of you that live in California, know that we live in a very liberal state. It's it's one of those places where gas for you, maybe you're in Texas and your gas is 250, ours is, 425. You know, uh our energy costs are super high because Gavin Newsom overcharges us for everything. That's kind of what we got going on in California. And so let me send her a message. Just to make sure that we're good. Oh, I sent the wrong one. Hold on a second. Let me re-invite her because I actually sent the wrong email or sent it to the wrong email. So hold on a second. Bear with me, everybody. We're gonna get this right here. I'm hoping that. Hold on. I can't think. And there it is. I can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time, so I just sent it to her. See what happens here. Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, Sarah. So Sarah Mattson is she's part of the New California. New California. What they did is a bunch of years ago. So originally, 10 or 15 years ago, we had this thing called uh, State of Jefferson. Maybe some of you have heard of the State of Jefferson, and they were doing the State of Jefferson thing. Hold on a second. I got a whole bunch of shit going on here. Hold on a second. And they had the State of Jefferson thing going on, and the way they filed the paperwork, and she'll get into it. She'll tell you about it, I'm sure. They did it wrong because they were going to do this split California many years ago, and what ended up happening is the paperwork was not done right. It was done under the wrong case law or whatever it is. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. And so they spent a whole bunch of time trying to get California split off from, New California or State of Jefferson was that what they were going to call it back then, split off. And they spent all this time and money and energy and for votes and all this stuff to get it done. And they struck it down in the Supreme Court. So what ended up happening is they started this new one. And hold on, let's see where she's at here. She said she's here, so I'm looking for her right now. I don't see her. All right, we're waiting on her right now. She should be coming in here in a second. So anyway, State of Jefferson, they wasn't able to get the State of Jefferson thing to go through. So now they have this new one called New California. They've been on the streets. They've been getting votes. They've been, getting money, getting everything together. They've been in the courts. Well, it just got to the House of the Representatives. I don't know exactly when it's supposed to hit the docket, but Kevin Kiley, one of our House of Representatives up here in our area, here she is. She's here. um, has put that forth. Let me bring her in. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. We're having some minor difficulties over here with no producer tonight. So want to introduce you to everybody. Um, tell them who you are and what you're about, so we get started there.
Can you, let's do an audio test. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine.
Okay, so for some reason, I'm trying to, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, it's not working. I'm gonna just take it out. This is great. Hello everybody. I'm glad here to be live with John and be part of the live program tonight. I'm Sarah. I'm Sarah Mattson with New California State, and I represent Sacramento County Rural.
Nice. And can you hear me?
You could be louder.
Okay. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Hold on a second. How about that? Is that better? Can you hear me better or no? Am I not coming over to you? How about that? Is that better?
That's great. Yes, that's
Beautiful.
great. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was just getting started here. A lot of my system's down. I don't know why, but I can't share my screen right now. So at least I can get you on here. I have another system, but it was too short notice, so I didn't switch it out. So, tell us where we're at, because I know that Kevin Kiley just took the state New California to the Senate or to the House, right? Did that just happen, or what's going on with it?
Well, that's breaking news. If that happened today, I have not heard that today.
No,
There's a bit.
last week I was told that happened.
Okay, well, we need to get Paul. Paul needs to get me on here so that he can share that with us.
Yeah.
So, I do have a full-time job, and I've been in classes all afternoon, and I have not heard that yet. So I would love it if one of my team members would please send me a text and let me know if that is accurate, and I could get some of the latest breaking update for you. But here's what I can tell you and what we do know. So New California declared their independence from Old California on January 5th, I believe it was the 15th, 2018. And since that time, we have been acting as a state. We have a full acting legislature, legislative body. We have assembly, we have senators, and we have been writing bills, and we have written our constitution. We have created a very most up-to-date new map, and I know that our Governor Pro Tempore Paul will be releasing that very soon. He, in fact, we have planned to on the state capital downtown Sacramento. We're planning to have an event where some of our latest bills will be signed in public. We are acting as a state, and we were approached by our POTUS, Donald J. Trump, to go forward. He has revealed his support of New California State, and so it is no surprise to me if there is somebody in Congress who has been given the honor and the task to actually take the bill forward. We were anticipating that to happen. But it happening today, that's breaking news, and I definitely want to read that one.
Maybe I'm jumping the gun, but I was told that last week that was happening. So I don't know if it's something that's happening and he hasn't got to the House with it yet or whatever, but I know that that's why I was like, hey, I need to get you guys on. I need to find out what the details are, because something's happening and I'm interested. So tell us.
It wouldn't surprise me that these are underlying events are occurring. There's no doubt about it. Our governor is in constant communication with the Trump administration, and the reveal of what is about to occur will become national news. Very recently, just a few weeks ago, our governor was at a national event called Vindicted. The event was in Las Vegas, and he was shoulder to shoulder with General Flynn and several very famous people who were just so unjustly treated during the 2020 election. And they've all been vindicated, and it was sponsored, and our governor was one of the keynote speakers at that event. So there's no doubt in my mind it's becoming national knowledge what is about to occur.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, have a couple questions. Maybe you can answer, maybe you can't. Because okay, so a lot of us in California, we want to know what's going on. We want to know where the boundaries are. Like,
Yes.
where are we really at? If we're in Sacramento County, are we going to be in New California? Are we going to be in Old California? I mean,
Right. And it's only fair. It's only fair that you know. This is what I'm talking about. These maps have been in the works. They're being finalized right now. There's only, I believe, 6 counties that are going to be split. The rest of California, as you know, the history for some of your viewers who may not know, the New California and Old California will be split evenly based on population. We're following a constitutional path, the same way West Virginia was created during the Civil War. We're following that same path. So we are, it will be a fairly equal population split. When that occurred, those maps will become public. And in fact, mark your calendar, viewers. And John, we're going to be having an election. We've had several, but the one coming up, October 4th, it's a Saturday, will be specifically for the citizens of California and New California to see the maps. Those maps will be made public by that election day. So we are moving very swiftly to reveal the boundaries and everything that people are dying to know. They want to know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's really, really good news. I would love to see, where we're at, because there's maps, and I wish I could share my screen, but for some reason I'm having trouble with my screen share. It's got to be something with the app that I'm using, my internet app. So I'll have to, we'll have to do this again sometime. But the one that I seen, let me pull it up here real quick. Oops. I don't think I can get it on the screen, so I'm really just not going to be able to do much with it. So, because you can't see it, but it shows that Sacramento is in the California district, but don't you represent Sacramento?
That's correct. We call our county Sacramento County Rural. We're not going to actually change the name. Eventually, perhaps the name change based on the citizens of the new county will want to change their name to the county seat, wherever that may be. Who knows where it could be? But there potentially could be a name change in the future. But right now, it's Sacramento County Rural. And and you see a separation. You could see the rural section of the county, and that I know what map you're talking about. It's the big basic map that's been around for several years now. And that map shows Sacramento, basically the downtown, the Capitol, the Land Park, the Oak Park, all those little areas up to the river are part of will be in the old portion. There's going to be some minute variations of the county boundary lines. But I can assure the citizens to know in the split counties, Sacramento being one, Los Angeles is the other major one. It's the counties with the largest population that are going to be split. The rest of the counties throughout the state, they're going to be part of New California. They're rural and they have a lot less population. Sure. You can be assured that the representation following the Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 and 4 of the Constitution, we created, reorganized California. Therefore, to step in and assist with old California's debacle, their financial debacle, their decline.
Debacle, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's gotten so blatant in your face, the tyranny and the debauchery that is happening within the legislative body. They don't even want to hide it anymore. The latest, this whole thing has just become so in your face. It's almost
I think $200 billion in the hole or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. 300 billion is, I think, the last documented amount they owe. They've been borrowing from CalSTRS and CalPERS to help,
Yep.
borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. Our financial CEO, Chris Street, is the summation is they're not going to be able to make payroll coming up, and it will become blatantly obvious their decline, and they're basically in default, and a state cannot file bankruptcy. So they're going to need to be lifted out of the situation. We're not planning to take their unconstitutional and illegal debt, but we do want to make all the state workers, CalSTRS, CalPERS, to let them know that we're not going to abandon them. We will make it whole, and we will bring it over and create a new retirement system that's really beneficial to the employees of California. Yeah.
It's really good. It's really great. And I had kind of heard some stuff about over the last few months, really since Trump got into office. I knew that ball was going to start rolling once President Trump got on board with it, that it would start making movement. And because when I talked to Paul last year, he was saying the same thing as you just said. We're not going to leave California, high and dry. We're not going to take on their illegal debt, basically is what it is, the corruption, but we're not going to leave them behind. And that's great because, of course, we want to help them. At the same time, we want to have something that's prosperous, which California is so bad. I mean, we can get into it. We don't have time.
For viewers who may not know the history of New California, the history behind the decline of California has been 50 years in the making. This is not a brand new because of the selection of Newsom. This has been happening for decades, and it happened in the 60s with Reynolds versus Sims, where they took away the representation of the individual from every county, and the senators no longer represented their county they resided in. They represent a population number. So what happens? There are 10 senators in LA County, and they're selected, and they're all leftist. And I just have to tell you, this is why this tyrannical mob rule is now in effect. And Newsom's latest gerrymandering that he's trying to do, he wants to make it even more lopsided, right? Right now, there's only 9 representatives who sit in the state legislature. He wants to make it 4. It's just ridiculous. So it's just, like I said, it's gotten so blatantly obvious, the debauchery that's happening. It's just, anybody with 2 sets of eyes will look and go, this is not right. And what they're doing to our children. Come on, any parent, grandparent, uncle, sister, you brother, you want to protect the children. This is
absolutely one of the things that we were talking about last time you guys were on, when I think we had like a 2-3 panel we were on last year, and I guess it might have been a couple years ago now, that we talked about the way the legislature and the governor and senators and all that stuff is going to be operated from in this new California. And it's going to go back to my understanding, and it may have changed, I don't know, but it's going to go back to the old way of doing business where you actually have it, like you just said, when you got on here, hey, I got a full-time job. So, you actually have a regular job. You come in, vote on stuff, and then go back to work. So that way you're not corrupt, right? Is that the idea?
Exactly. We will be a part-time legislature in New California. Nobody's going to enter in as a bartender and then suddenly become a millionaire, within a year of serving in office.
Never heard something like that before.
It's unbelievable. So go back to your regular job. Come and serve, and then go back and do and have a normal life. And while you're in office, and so there will be term limits. It will be a part-time legislature. Our specific account has not been selected yet. We did have a recent convention in Visalia, and a lot of people really like the city. So who knows? I don't know. There's lots of possibilities for a capital. But at this moment in time, New California is going to move forward based on our Constitution. For example, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment. I mean, we are going to we're not going to have all these NGOs. Immediately, they will cease to exist in New California.
Right. How does that work though when the whole country is based on this corrupt model? How does it work for New California? Is it the new model for the United States or what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You froze up on me. All right, we're going to get her back on here. We're going
back.
to. Oh, there. Are you there?
I'm back.
You froze up on me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Did you hear what I said? I was talking about how's this going to work with this model of basic corruption within the government, and how's it going to work with, is New California going to be the new model for how the rest of the United States will operate, or is it going to operate on its own? I mean, how's this work? Because
that's exactly right.
Everywhere.
You hit it on the nose. So don't be shocked and surprised. New California will be the model. We're going to be the 51st state. And immediately therefore after, you're going to see a new Illinois. You're going to see a new Arizona. You're going to see, they're already in the works and in the makes. New Oregon has just recently stepped up.
Okay, so it's going to break off all the liberal. So it's going to be exactly what we've heard. You know, I'm what I do is, I'm like you. I have a regular job, but I do this also. But I do this all day, every day. Politics, the whole thing. I'm learning about all those different things that I knew nothing about, and what I see in the realm of all these states is you have, we can call them rural areas, or we can just call them outer city areas, and then you have these liberal cities that do all the destruction, and you know, they burn stuff down, do all that stuff, and then you have rural areas where people live like we did when we back in the 70s, you know, where we really had values, and, you know.
I would say the 50s, really, you know, the 50s. So so here's what has happened. The Reynolds versus Sims legislative change changed California, and then it started affecting other states around the union. That needs to be overturned, and the Supreme Court needs to pull that away. And once that happens, and we're going to be the model, there's no doubt about it. New California will be the model because we have a reorganized California, which is ready to step in and help, I want to say, help lift old California out of the tyrannical uniparty reality that they're in right now. It is not a legal form of government. They don't follow their constitution. The only constitution that was ratified by Congress was 1850.
Okay.
In 1850, when California was brought in as the 32nd, 33rd state, that's the only constitution that was ratified. Since then, they've created at least a half a dozen or more different constitutions, never been ratified. This is why they create the legislation. They have over 900 changes in the Constitution in California that are just let's spend more money. Let's invite everybody to this state, and let's give them surgery, and let's give them a weekly stipend. It doesn't matter if they're legal or not legal. You know, it's unbelievable. They've lost their way, and they need help to come back to a constitutional, to an actual how we were based on. We are a constitutional republic.
Sure.
It guarantees the liberty of the individual and not mob rule.
So, playing devil's advocate, you know, there's probably thousands of people right now on here going that that's not even possible, because how are you going to turn it around? I mean, you got the black-pilled people, you got the liberals, you know, they all kind of check in on the show to see what crazy stuff we're talking about. And for some, this is super crazy that, and for some it's like reality, like we need this. This is what we really need. But how is this going to work when you have, all these states that, they're all operated from corruption. I mean, everything that they do
Right.
is based on filling their pockets with more cash that we give them.
Well,
So,
I think here's what. So that everybody has a breaking point or a moment in time. For maybe you and for me, I could share what mine was. It was the 2020 election when the blatant fraud became obvious, right? Everybody, and what's happening right now, we're having an awakening. Not only outreach to Christianity and faith is resurging, but also people are realizing, wait a minute, what are they trying to do to my child in public school? What's happening? You look at your neighbor's kid or your grandkid, what is going on? So to save the children, to save your personal finance, why are we the highest taxed state in the union? Why do Californians pay the highest energy rate for electricity, for gasoline, for why are our farmers being deprived of water, which we have a bounty of? Eventually, everybody reaches a breaking point, and you come to realize this is unjust, this is illegal, this is tyrannical, and I'm not going to accept it anymore. So the reality is California is deeply red. I think you would be shocked. Now, I live in rural Sacramento County, and the people I hang out with believe like me. But I meet more and more people, and they're just fed up. Why am I paying this for gasoline? It's what's happening? Why are all the refineries, major oil companies leaving California? Why are all the major AI companies and silicon companies, why are they leaving? Right?
Yeah, the cost.
It becomes common sense eventually. Your pocketbooks, you start to realize, wait a minute, there's something corrupt going on here, and something has to change. And that is what is I think that is what will unify and unite us all.
Right. I agree with that. And so, and hopefully we get Paul on soon to kind of break this down from his perspective, being an interim governor. I mean, I think it'd be great.
He's happy to comply.
Huh?
He's happy to comply. He will work to try to get into your podcast.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. But I was saying so ever since this started rolling, I started hearing grumblings about this about a month ago, because I keep my ear to the, I just keep listening for when it's going to happen, because we talked about it. It was definitely going to happen. And I'm sure that the 2024 held everything up because there was so much fraud going on, and because there's really so much fraud every election. And that's why what you were saying was, you'd be surprised how red California really is, and you don't know it because they steal, and they have the harvesting and all these different things to a science, and so they're able to steal right from underneath your nose, and you don't, unless you're paying attention to it, you don't know. You just think, oh well, that dipshit was more popular than the other dipshit. But the truth is, they put whoever they want in all these elections. They've been doing it for years, and I can't wait till we stop that. You know what I mean? And
it will stop when we stop using machines. And this is why we've proven to President Trump that we can conduct elections one day on paper, count them at the end of the day, count the ballots. It's called the clear box method. And granted, our numbers are tiny, but we will be small precincts again. Remember the day when you would go and vote at your neighbor's garage? That was a precinct, right? So we're talking small precincts around all of the state of California. We will be able to conduct elections on paper, 1 day, voter ID, proof of citizenship. And we're not going to tolerate, obviously there would have to be mail-in exceptions for active military, for the disabled. There will be situations, as it was before, but not just everybody. And New California will have Election Day as a holiday. You're going to be your employer will be told you're going to be allowed to go and vote today.
Yep.
So,
it's
going to be a completely revisit to how it was 6-7 decades ago, and that's what we are. That we're bringing back Constitution. We're bringing back our constitutional republic, and we're bringing back the liberty to individuals. And many people don't even realize they've lost their liberty. The game. There's been a game of conditioning, I want to call it, using word salad and trying to convince the common person who doesn't read, like you're very well versed. You're very you investigate, you pursue information, as I do as well, and many of us who follow are involved. We do. We keep up to what is really happening. Most people just put on the evening news and they just believe what they're being told, right? And just I suspect something and so the groundwork's being laid right now. What happened? What POTUS Trump did in DC to bring back safety and individual citizens' rights. You're going to start to see across the nation, and my prediction is California is coming up very soon, and National Guard, military are going to be here, and they will be assisting in the transition.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. So yes. It won't just be to clean it up. It'll be to keep the I don't know what we call it. Whoever
they're evil. They do evil and illegal conduct, and they're probably bought off by the cartels, or the complete deep state. Yeah. They're getting paid by Soros or somebody. I don't know who, but
sure, I'm sure. I probably got 10, 15 different reports on that. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on short notice so we can get a little bit of information. We'll talk offline. I know you only had a little bit of time, and I want to honor that.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on, Sarah. And let's continue this conversation. I'm going to continue it. I'm going to make it part of my show every time I come on, is to give it more power to get this across the finish line. And I think we could do it. My big concern is the redistricting thing that's coming up,
I'm sorry, the what?
The redistricting vote.
Yeah, the gerrymandering. Yeah. I'm trying to make it down to 3 or 4 possible Republican districts. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition. They say they're going to have an election on November 4th. Well, so are we. We're going to have an election in person on paper on November 4th. We're also going to have an election on October 4th. So audience and John, please note those dates. And in fact, what I'm going to send to you is the video link of the Constitution being read aloud as a movie. You could actually follow it. And then I'll send you the PDF of our new Constitution. You are going to be so pleased to see your constitutional rights return. Residing in New California.
I love it. And I have a feeling from what you haven't told me tonight that I'm in the safe zone being in Carmichael. So
without saying too much, I'll talk to you more offline. You feel pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Because I'm like, sell the farm, let's go. All right, we don't have a form yet, but anyway, well, thank you again. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, and let's continue this and send me some information. I'll put it out, and I'll let everybody know that we have a couple votes coming up, and you'll give me the information on how to vote, where to vote, and all that stuff, right?
Yes, yes. And you sent me the link to get into the chat with you today. That's your email. I'm going to send it right back to you with that email, so you have it. And
That's my main one, yeah.
I'd be glad to answer any questions about the Constitution. And so I think just as you start even reading the introduction, our Bill of Rights, you're going to go, yes, we're back. So
I love it.
Okay.
All right. So I have so thank you again. And I have some work to do to get my show back together because I got to switch to my other system so I can share clips and videos. So that's what I'm going to do now. So thank you again.
Okay.
God bless you. Great work. And tell Paul I'm ready. You got my contact. Let's just connect. Let's figure it out.
Let's connect. I want him here to tell you. Sometimes I feel I need to not reveal everything I know, but if it comes from him, then it's out. It's there. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Sarah. Have a good night.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye. All right. There you have it. New California. There's a couple different names we're working it out to figure out. It sounds like it's the split is going to be a split evenly across the liberal cities, and all the rural areas are going to obviously continue to be red cities. Most of California is red anyway. So that's what we have. Now I'm going to see if I can do this on the fly instead of cutting it off and then turn it back on. Let's see if I can do this. So let's see here. So stand by. Let me see if I can pull this off. I bet you I can because I'm so smart, right? I mean, I'm so smart. Okay, let's see. Where's it at? Let's see. Boom. Stand by. I'm going to see if I can switch. Stand by, everybody. I'm going to see if I can make this happen. So let's see over there. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. It wouldn't shut off. So I apologize for that. All right, how's it look? Let's see if you can hear me. Let's see. I don't have sound, so let's get this connected right. Hold on a second. I switched to the other system, so if I can pull it off here. Yep, that's right. Okay, I'm going to cut out. I'm going to come back because it's not working, so I'm going to have to jump to my other system, but I'll be right back. So stand by. Sorry for that abrupt, loud noise, if you can hear me. Let me just take care of this.